Hello, it's Simon, and today I'm gonna speak about the Ursula Trilogy by Ursula Le Guin. This book is a bit different than what I usually read because it's for all audiences. It's not adult. I usually read adult books, and on the other side, it is a classic. It's from the 60s, I believe. It's old, it's different style, and I generally tend to read more modern fantasy, but I needed something classic to see if I like it really. So, first of all, classic and modern are different. Modern tend to be more darker, more morally gray, while classic, Lord of the Rings has a lot of morally gray things. They're not just so obvious, maybe, but with Wizard of the Earthsea and the following books, I would say it's more of a straightforward, good versus bad, etc. But even though it's a classic, it holds so well up to this day, even with writing, with a story, with characters. I just love it. I would also say that the way you write was different because it was much more flowery back then. Today's simple language because I guess you're gonna read more, you have more time to read, there are more books, more authors, especially since the rise of Song of Ice and Fire. Since then, books are everywhere. Fantasy is on its growth. That's why I'm reading it. Not especially because Song of Ice and Fire, but because it went a bit up to my attention because it's a little bit more mainstream. Not so much, but yeah, not as romantic novels or non-fiction books and everything. I I was scared of classics because it reminded me. I expected something to be the books to be more dry because it reminds me of novels that I had to read in school. Um, those novels were always hard to read, even though if you're a reader, big reader, even if you're not, because you are pushed to read something. Maybe it's probably the best books we read in our high school, etc. But we don't think of them as such because we were forced to do it. We were kids, we wanted to play and whatever. And that's the way I look at classics. I used to look at classics. Now I kind of changed my mind. And that's not gonna do the same with movies. Actually, I'm planning to watch some movies from the 30s and 40s. I don't know if it's gonna work because movies are more action-packed these days. With the Wizard of the Earthsea, you follow Sparrowhawk. That's the name he used to be known. And that's not actually his real name, but spoilers there a bit. Not really, but yeah, I don't know. He has another name, but that's his mage name. This is a story about dragons, about the young wizard, about knowledge, magic, morals. There is a lot you can learn from this book. Especially, it's a good book for a kid. I would recommend for someone who has kids to read them before sleep and anything. If you take the whole trilogy and maybe all the 6 books they are now, there is a lot of reading time because you don't go too much if you read before sleep. So I guess for a year, depending on the kid, how fast it falls asleep. But I would really recommend it for parents and kids because it's so nice. I mean, you can mistake classic and cliche, but there's some cliches when you break up with somebody like it's not you, it's me. But it's a good explanation because it often is true. It's just not as accepted anymore today because people are bothered. It's obvious lie, it's just a line that you say, but it's a classic because it has some value. It has something. It wouldn't become so popular if it wasn't good. Same with, I think it's strong parallel to make, but it's same with books. So don't just disregard something because it's so popular. It's maybe old, or is it a cliche? Because I would say Wizard of the Earth Sea doesn't explore anything new. It doesn't force anything different just to be different. It just does the regular tropes, but it does them well. So pick up the book. It's amazing. Thank you. See ya.